I had suffered with problems for quite some time. I had been looking for a dentist for a long time, not just for a few days, weeks, or months. I would say I spent years looking for a dentist's practice where I knew that someone would be able to solve the problems I had, which hadn't gotten any smaller either. I tried the usual things, reading dentist reviews online, asking for recommendations from friends, and yet nobody said, "I've got to say you can absolutely trust this or that person." On the other hand, there were plenty of absolute horror stories, tales of how everything went wrong, and that doesn't exactly encourage you to make an appointment. And then I came across this site online and found 5,000 positive reviews. I read that Dr. Desmyttère also trained in the USA. I thought to myself, the Americans have nice teeth. Maybe he'll be able to make mine like that. And then I saw a video of a woman who described everything in just the same way. I was at a point where I said to myself that I had to do something or else I'd have to deal with all of the consequences. I got in touch, and they were very friendly. But they also made an impression on me. They didn't let me think of any good strategies to avoid treatment so that I might go back. They weren't pushy, they were very friendly, but they led me gently in the right direction so that I had the consultation, was given a diagnosis, and discussed the entire course of treatment. For me, it was clear from the start that I wanted everything done under anesthetic. There aren't that many practitioners who do that. The anesthetist was very nice too, and I thought she seemed highly proficient, and so I took the plunge. 2 major operations, under anesthetic. What I found amazing was that I never had any pain, not at any time. There were a few unpleasant aspects, but I'd say they were pretty irrelevant. My face was a little swollen, but when all is said and done, nothing was as bad as I thought it would be. The dramatic stories other people had told me simply didn't come to pass in my case. I don't like going to the dentist. Sometimes when I have a problem, I think, what could it be this time? At the same time, though, I don't avoid it to the extent where I'd just say, I'm not going, but they might call and say, how would you feel about coming back? And so I'll go along. I can eat everything again now, and that's great. I don't have to be careful about what I eat, and above all, I don't have any pain now. That's very clear. I also don't have any more nightmares or find my mind racing around in circles about when I'll go to the dentist and what will happen after that. That's all in the past. That all finished just after the first operation and after the second, in which everything was finished off, and after which I had a temporary prosthesis and then a final implant. Everything was all good. I didn't want to know anything about what was going on. It was a significant procedure, so I thought, no, just anesthetic, wake up and it'll all be done. The other practices didn't recommend that for me. They said doing procedures that last several hours isn't pleasant even when you're conscious, but everything was fine with the anesthetic. I tolerated it well. There were no problems there. Once it was done, I regretted that I had waited so long. Today, though, I tell myself that I didn't know Dr. Desmyttère back then, and maybe it's a good thing that everything worked out this way. Maybe if I'd had the treatment somewhere else, I wouldn't have been as happy. Calling up and making an appointment is only a small step. At the same time, there's nothing forcing you to do it, but once you have, your confidence grows and you think that it can't be that bad. Everything is totally laid back here. Nobody's going to say, oh God, look at your teeth, how awful. I'd had that in the past too, getting a telling off from a dentist, which means you'd rather never go back. Nothing like that happens here. Quite the opposite. They're very understanding. And so you don't get that feeling that they're going to stare at you and not take your fears seriously.